Yeah, good stuff. Cheers.
Wonderful.
Good,
Nice
yeah.
to see you.
Yeah,
Uh,
lovely to see you.
Indeed. And I mean, great story. If people don't know the story behind Toast, just to enlighten us, it's one of the great industry stories for me.
Thank you. Yeah, and cheers everyone. And yeah, definitely same as what Steve was saying. Massive shout out to Len and everyone doing a good job to educate our kids and try and get them off the dining room table whenever possible. To I was juggling a 6-year-old until a couple of weeks ago, when thankfully he's now back at school. So happy days. But yeah, so Toast, we're on a mission, as you know, Nigel, to prove that the alternative to food waste is delicious and pint-sized. So yeah, brew what we call our planet-saving beer using yesterday's bread from bakeries or heel end sort of crusts from the sandwich industry. So we use surplus bread to replace about 1/3 of the barley in the brewing process. Yeah, bread, believe it or not, is the biggest food waste in the world. The humble loaf of bread, 44% of the bread that's baked in the UK goes to waste. And beer's been brewed with bread for millennia, though I would say it's not particularly commonplace these days. But the first ever beer recipe was brewed with bread several thousand years ago. So we're trying to bring that back into the mainstream with our delicious brews, and then we donate all our profits to charity to try and top it off and make ourselves a right bunch of do-gooders.
Well, it's good now. It is excellent, of course, and the bread making and the brewing. A lot of it was done by women in Mesopotamia and early parts. So there's a great correlation there. But there's one particular character who I filmed, and actually I lived as a freegan for a week, living off basically freebies and living outside. But tell us a bit about the guy who was behind it originally and gave us the driving force for Toast.
Yeah, so it was a mate of mine, Tristram Stewart, who's a food waste activist and campaigner. And Tristram and I were having a beer sort of 4 years ago or so. He'd just come back from a trip to Brussels where he had tried a beer brewed by a really awesome brewery, if you ever get over there, called the Brussels Beer Project. Massively recommend them. I don't know whether anyone's had any of their brews. But yeah, really good beer. And they had one SKU that they'd just brewed that was brewed with surplus bread. It was called Babylon, and they were really looking at the whole origins of beer production and Babylonian times. Tristram was kind of having this beer and just thought, like, this is a complete no-brainer. Knew that there was so much bread going to waste in the UK. Really good day fresh bread that comes from the sandwich industry, like I say, where the kind of pre-packed sandwiches that we are somewhat addicted to in this country, the end slice never ends up on them. And so knew there was just hundreds of tons daily going to waste purely from crusts alone. And yeah, when he said to me, Rob, let's get wasted on waste and start up a brewery, it was a complete no-brainer.